looking nice. Room service if I like, I order twice. Hibachi got the gravy on the rice. Rolling in Mexico like a paradise.
Welcome in, everybody, to a special edition of the Steelers Q&A. My name is Jeremy Betts, and I am joined on Browns Week by someone I talk about a lot on the show. You guys are familiar with my Browns fan wife, and I'm going to introduce her to you tonight. This is Erin. Erin, say hi to the people. They are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, true and blue, so you're probably going to get some crap in this episode, but
that's okay.
You signed up for it,
Yeah,
and you're here. But thanks for joining. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, of course, I'm excited to be here. I'm used to getting crap. So from you and your Steelers dominant family.
Yes.
So
yes. Although the last time the Steelers and Browns played in the snow game,
yeah,
I was surrounded by Browns fans.
Yeah,
by a family of Browns fans, because your stepdad was here.
Yeah,
and you have worked wonders in our relationship, tearing my daughter away from my Pittsburgh Steelers and turning her into a Browns fan at only 4 years old. I can't believe you've done that, and it's
I didn't do anything. Hey, Callie, what do we tell Daddy?
Stinky Steelers.
Go Browns, stinky Steelers.
Wait a minute. Don't say that again.
Go Browns, stinky.
Oh,
That's
it hurts.
right.
If you guys couldn't hear that, I'm hoping that you didn't, because she said "Go Browns, Stinky Steelers," and it's the bane of my existence. It is tough to have to deal with that, but I'm surrounded now by Browns fans, and it is tough. But Erin, I wanted to bring you on because it is Browns Steelers week.
Yeah.
And while we don't, hey, welcome to the show, little kitty. While we don't draw a line down the living room floor and stay on opposite sides, it kind of works out that way in the end, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I specifically, I think it was probably our first or second year that when we were married, and we were watching a Browns Steelers game with your family, and it was literally everybody on one side of the living room and me and the dog on the other side of the living room. So
as it should be, you were in the dog pound with the dog.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the game that was. Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about the game that's coming up.
Yeah.
And first of all, though, just your background story, how you became a Browns fan. You were telling Callie a little bit about that earlier, and it was cute. I have to admit it. So go ahead and share.
It's interesting that we're Browns fans. I don't think I really know how my stepdad specifically became a Browns fan, but my stepdad is a huge Browns fan, and I remember every Sunday sitting and crying on the couch with him growing up watching the Browns. Yes. And it was always a thing. We always had our brown sweatshirts. I grew up a little bit, a lot closer to Cincinnati.
That's true.
So it's kind of surprising. And we're Cincinnati Reds fans.
Yeah.
So you would think that it would be Cincinnati, but no, I don't know. I ended up a Browns fan somehow. Probably could have gone a lot better for me the other way, but
well, I mean, the Bengals have had their issues too.
Yeah, that's fair.
You had an opportunity when we got together. You had an opportunity to leave the sad sack mistake by the lake, and join the dominant team in the division, and you blew it. You just blew it.
We are nothing if not loyal.
That is true. Now, I will say this. Browns fans, when you compare them to Bengals fans, and this is just my experience, and probably yours too, more passionate, right, than Bengals fans.
I don't know what we're passionate about, but we do end up being very passionate.
Yeah.
I think it's just the hope that we'll someday achieve something. We've gotten real close a few times, but a couple times.
Real close to the divisional round or something like that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of our regular listeners in the chat. You don't know many of them, but we've got the quad father, Dennis Povlak, in the chat, and he says, where does the cat time to even out this conversation. Yes, Holly is definitely a Steelers fan because she jumps on my show all the time. So we have to just.
I was gonna say they
she's-
know Holly's name. That's funny.
Yes, yeah. So she finds a way to get into every show,
Of
even
course.
my ones with Jeff on Fridays. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to have conversation. We've got Gavin Anthony in the chat. Yes, Gavin the cat loves to make her appearances. And then Daredevil, both don't have any rings. Talking about the Browns and the Bengals, the Ohio teams, kind of owned by the state of Pennsylvania in their history.
Easy. The couch is comfortable.
Yeah, it is very comfortable. But I'd rather not sleep on it tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll go easy on it. Listen, everybody, go ahead and ask your questions. We're gonna talk the Steelers-Browns game coming up. We're gonna talk a little bit about the situations of both teams. So ask your questions. This is the Steelers Q&A. We're gonna answer any of those questions that you have for us tonight. But Aaron, let's start with the last game, Steelers-Browns.
Yeah.
Snow game. It was kind of like all the visuals that you want in an actual AFC North football game, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was very classically AFC North showdown kind of a game, and it was really cool. I don't feel like we see games like that very often.
No.
Where it's that level of just raw competitiveness between the two division rivals there.
And you had a Browns team that's like so different from when they started the season, so Jameis Winston's in town, starting for the team. Yeah. And I mean, explain that roller coaster ride if you can as a Browns fan, especially coming from the Deshaun Watson era, if you want to call it that. Yeah. And the heartbreak there too. Is Jameis the breath of fresh air he seems to be for the team to the fans?
I think so. I mean, honestly, and even taking it back a little bit, from, I think it was kind of a little bit of a house divided on Baker. I feel like he was kind of like that from the very beginning. And I personally was really sad to see him go. Yeah. And then I think Deshaun was just kind of bad luck from the start. I mean, he didn't obviously start in Cleveland on a high note.
Right. He came in with a lot of baggage.
He came in missing a lot of games. Yep. And something I think that has always been, and I've always said this, a big thing for Cleveland is, there for a while we were cycling through coaches and cycling through quarterbacks, and it was almost a brand new one or the other every single year. Right. And you have to, I think a big part of success for a football team is allowing your head coach and your quarterback to figure each other out and work together. And Deshaun coming in and not being able to start that out, I think was just bad luck again from the beginning. And I think Jameis Winston, I was really excited when we picked him up. I think that he's a really good alternative. He seems to, and I don't know if it's just wishful thinking on a Browns fan part or, I think that you can see the atmosphere of the team when they're on the field.
Oh yeah.
And I think that there's been a huge shift in the atmosphere of the team that you see playing on the field since Jameis has come in and been the starter.
They may not be winning a bunch of games still, but the attitude and morale is definitely different. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Be honest, okay?
Okay.
This is a safe space for now.
For a Browns fan?
For a Browns fan, yeah.
Okay.
Do you envy the Steelers' stability and structure? You were talking about the coaching staff of the Browns changing all the time. Do you envy the three coaches since the 60s? Do you envy the fact that they are willing to stick it out even though playoff wins have been few and far between recently? Is that something where you can set aside your brown and orange glasses and see the truth, which is that the Steelers' stability is kind of something to admire, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do. There have been a lot of times that I've been a little bit jealous
Yes.
of Pittsburgh and their stability. But I mean, coaching wise, I am a huge Kevin Stefanski fan.
Okay.
I have been from the start. And I think that if he is allowed to do his thing and make his decisions and be the coach that we have seen in the past, I think that that'll be a really good thing for us for sure.
I agree. I'm sorry, we're having to switch cameras here because my other one froze up. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right that it is something to admire about the Pittsburgh Steelers, that they have such a stable way of doing business.
Yeah.
And the Browns that's been different for Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, your head coach, and people vary on this, but I mean, in all honesty, your head coach is going to kind of be your backbone, I guess. But you know, and it's hard to stay stable when you have a backbone that's always switching out.
Yeah.
And I will give it to Mike Tomlin.
Oh, how did that feel coming out?
Not great. I will give it to him. He's a great coach, and I think a lot of the success that Pittsburgh has had has been dependent on Mike Tomlin and his ability to lead his team and encourage his guys. And I've definitely envied that a little bit as a Browns fan for sure.
Let's bring up a couple of the comments here. So first off, George T agrees with you. They should have held on to Baker.
Yeah,
right?
I absolutely agree. I think we gave Baker a raw deal on that. I think that I think that, you know, he obviously had his ups and downs, but he was the closest thing that we've come to a franchise quarterback in my lifetime. Yeah, for sure.
He has some volatility like Jameis Winston does, but I think his highs are a little higher.
Yeah.
Even than
yeah. And again, he was another link in that strong backbone. You know, we have Kevin Stefanski. He's great. Like I said earlier, I love him as a coach, and I think that they worked really well together. Obviously I'm not inside the Browns organization. I think that probably front office had a lot to do with that. Yeah. And it's definitely not something I was happy with. I would have kept Baker for sure.
Front office and ownership.
Yeah.
Right. They got distracted by the potential star, and for a starred fan base wanting excellent quarterback play.
Yeah.
I mean, the move for Deshaun Watson was kind of ended up being the wrong move, right?
It was classic Cleveland.
Yeah, it was.
They started to see some negative, and they got scared that the fan base was gonna jump ship, and so they went for somebody supposedly bigger and better, and it ended up flopping.
Yeah. Were you a fan of the Baker commercials?
Yeah. I liked them.
Yeah. They were pretty good. If I had to say anything. Now, I'll say this, you know, and this is what is hard coming out of my mouth, right? You had your moment there. Baker Mayfield gave the Browns their biggest high in years, beating the Steelers in the wild card round of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. That was a beautiful moment.
Have you ever been okay? This one's gonna be fun for the listener. The bigger or the better experience for you, okay? Myles Garrett almost taking Mason Rudolph's head off with a helmet, or Baker Mayfield beating the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Myles Garrett.
Oh no,
that's my boy.
Oh,
we don't want to. I don't know if we want to bring him up.
Okay, we're gonna. This is over.
That's my boy. Myles Garrett is. I am a ride or die Myles Garrett fan.
Okay, we're gonna move on to another conversation here. Dennis Povlak, the Quad Father, says you guys need to draft a quarterback. Jameis isn't the answer. Too many interceptions. What do you say?
The interceptions. That's always been a Jameis Winston problem. Always.
Yep.
And I mean, but when you're Cleveland, do you take a great quarterback who is, throwing interceptions frequently, but otherwise consistent and bringing your team up in really positive ways? Or do you continue to make the same mistake that you have and you draft another young quarterback and you try to throw him in there and see how it goes?
Yeah, it's tough, especially in a year like this year. And I know you don't follow like the draft all that deeply or anything like that.
I'm kind of forced to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess the house kind of gets infiltrated with the draft
Very
stuff.
much so. Yes.
This isn't a good quarterback draft year. There's not a lot of good quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's what I've
a lot of projects
picked up on.
A lot of project players.
But
Cam Ward in Miami.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I think the Browns will be picking high enough probably in the draft to be able to land one if they want to.
Yeah. But I mean, and a lot of people can say, to this, at what point do you stop reaching for quarterbacks as soon as you can? And a lot of people could say when you have a good one. But, I think that I think that they just need to pick somebody and settle on them.
So you'd rather stick with Jameis next year?
At this point, yeah. I would take the interceptions along with all the positives that he brings for sure.
The offense has definitely been better since he came in. It's just been volatile. Like, a lot of turnovers. 2 pick sixes against the Broncos the other night.
Yeah. As far as the offense goes, though, I mean, you got to throw in the fact that Nick Chubb is back and.
Yep, and he hasn't quite been himself, but he's getting getting there.
I mean, he's slowly but surely getting back to there.
And Joel Bitonio's back.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal as well.
Yeah,
that's your boy up front.
That's my boy up front. Yeah, I like him.
All right, so enough direct Browns talk. We have to answer a Steelers question now.
Okay, fine.
All right, so Vinny Aguakun. Vinny is a great listener of the pod, and he has his own pod as well that I've checked out a couple times. Good stuff from Vinny always. But he asked, do you guys think this Minkah no splash play narrative is overblown? I agree he needs one, but he is still the chess piece in the middle of the defense. So I'll answer this first. Okay.
Go for it.
Minkah Fitzpatrick has not had an interception since 2022. Mm-hmm. It's been 2 years. Mm-hmm. He has not had a fumble recovery since 2022. It's been 2.5 years for that. So the splash isn't there, and that's what Minkah was always good at, right? He was always think of some of the Browns-Steelers matchups where you were ready to throw something at the TV because Minkah Fitzpatrick took a pick back to the house. Yeah. That's all gone this year. Yeah. And it's been tough for some of us who want the splash. But kind of like you were saying, too, he's still such a solid player. I think you have to still be happy with the production he's giving you, even though it might not be as splashy as it used to be. What say you?
Yeah. I mean, again, I think that Minkah is one of your guys's one of your stabilizers. Yeah. He's one of your leaders. He's one of the guys that's been there, and I think that football, again, I have probably said this the same or many times in different ways, but I mean, there's a lot more to a football player than his ability. I think there's a lot more that he brings to a team than just is he doing well or not, and just his ability and in his plays, it's what he's bringing to your team. And I think that, Minkah right now isn't as shiny as he or showy as he used to be, but he's bringing that stability. He's bringing that leadership to you guys.
Yeah. And communication on the back end, always important. Keeping the ball in front of you, making the tackles that are there. He definitely does a good job of that. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break on the show. If you're listening to us live, we're not going anywhere. Excuse me. If you are listening on the audio side, though, we're going to take a quick break and listen to some ads. So don't go anywhere. The Steelers Q&A will be right back after this.
Do you know how that will splash your tail?
No.
And welcome back to the Steelers Q&A. Did I say the Steelers fix before we went to break? I may have. If I did, I apologize. If it's the Steelers Q&A, that's what this is supposed to be. And I'm here with my beautiful wife, Erin, and we are talking a little Steelers and Browns. Vinny had a great question. We just talked about Minka Fitzpatrick and what he means to the team for the Steelers. There's a comment in here that I want you to react to. Okay. Myles Garrett had 3 sacks in the first half last week. And then he came out after the game and was like, I'm that dude. The defensive player of the year runs through me. I am the best edge defender, the best defender in the NFL. And that stuck in the craw of Steelers fans, as you can imagine.
I can imagine.
He is public enemy number 1 for the black and gold fans.
Oh, I'm sure.
So the comment is, Dan Moore, can you please block Myles Garrett this week? At least try Dan Moore Jr. on the left side of the offensive line. Even if Dan Moore Jr. has a better game this week, are you confident in Myles Garrett to still be a force in this game?
Always.
Yeah.
I'm always confident in Myles Garrett. Again, he's a he's a
menace.
He's a menace. He's one of our stabilizers,
He's a
kind of like we were talking before the break.
Yeah.
We're kind of talking about Minka, we're going to ignore that comment right there.
This is a great comment. Myles Garrett begins his hibernation Sunday. Yes. The bear goes into hibernation.
I always have confidence in Myles Garrett. That's my boy for sure. That's our boy, huh?
Hey, don't you say nothing about Myles Garrett, Callie.
Do we love Myles Garrett? Yeah.
Oh, no. See, now I'm getting ganged up on here. I need some of my Steelers fans in the comments to get on my side here. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Gavin Anthony says, and we have Darnell Washington. Use him to chip Myles. It's not that hard. It's not. It's not that hard. Dan Moore Jr. needs help.
Yeah.
Everybody needs help against TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Everybody needs help against TJ Watt, Aaron.
Yeah. What did I say? I said TJ Watt didn't even know that it wasn't his brother sitting next to him in the car.
Oh,
I think
in
that commercial. TJ Watt is
can't take it.
That's just the Browns fan in me. TJ is he's a great player. He's well deserved in all the things that he's earned, for sure. But yeah, I mean it's not hard, but I think that we as fans always,
Yeah, we general managers and coaches on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about your fan experience, okay? Are you just for the people, are you a loud, obnoxious, yell at the TV fan, or do you kind of just go with the flow?
No, you definitely take that.
Yeah.
That's
That's me.
Yes.
I'm the loud one.
Yes. That is that's your role in the family for sure.
Yes.
I am and this is probably from being a Browns fan, I am the sit and quietly brood and sulk over whatever's happening, and keep my expectations low.
And give me the side eye when I yell and scream.
Yeah.
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 At least, I mean, it helped Callie learn how to sleep through noise when she was a baby. So
See, you're welcome.
thank you.
Yeah. I'm very happy to help. Help with that. So
Bless you.
Afton Ford is in the chat now, and she is one of our best listeners. Okay. She says hi.
Hey girl.
This is my wife Erin. She's the Browns fan I always talk about. And Afton, I need you to ask us a really good question here that's going to stump Erin. Okay, going to stump her and her Browns fandom. So get on that, Afton. Let's hear it. Yeah. So Dennis makes a great point. They have to triple team TJ.
Yeah.
It's a double team and it's a chip every time. Every time. That's why it's hard for him to get some of those stats this year, right? Myles Garrett sometimes disappears even though he's getting only doubled, not tripled.
Right. So
TJ Watt, ergo, is the better player.
I already gave him a compliment. Don't make me say it a second time.
Okay, I won't push that too hard. Okay. AJC, does it get chippy in your house during a game? There are times, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's close, if it's a close game.
It was a little chilly here. That last game,
Yeah.
that snow game, with having my family here. my stepdad, the original Browns fan in the family, was here, and my 12-year-old brother who likes to talk
fun at
some
Jeremy.
major smack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
a friendly, loving Chippy,
it
right?
was.
Right?
Yeah.
You said it was? Like
It
a
was.
question?
It was. Yeah, no, it was.
I will admit that after the game was over, I booked it. I was done. I wasn't staying for the
No, you
after
left.
game interviews.
Yeah.
You guys were in here laughing and having a good time, enjoying your
Watching-
season Super Bowl.
Watching the Snow Angels, the Jameis Winston Snow Angels, and Jeremy was gone. He was out of here.
Yeah, I couldn't stick around for that. Afton does ask a question. Do you bet each other on these games? Like the loser has to wear the winner's hat or so? Well, not necessarily. We've done it a couple times, maybe, right?
I think we've always been too tense for that.
Yeah.
It's you. I mean, we've never been obviously a huge threat to you guys. I am Browns fan enough to say that.
Yeah.
But I think that's where my hatred for the Steelers has always come from, is that we have never been a threat to you guys.
Yeah.
So I think we know better than to push each other to that limit.
I agree. Can you see me wearing something Browns if the Steelers lose?
You did once.
Did I?
You did.
Oh no, that never
Oh
happened.
yes,
No.
I have.
We're moving on.
I have a picture somewhere of you wearing my Browns Santa hat.
It was so traumatic. I must have wiped it from my memory.
You were smiling big in the picture, pal.
No,
I'm gonna get you fired, aren't I?
Yes, probably. Jeff, if you're listening, please turn it off. Okay, yeah. Here's Dennis. Dennis, thank you, Dennis, helping me out. Nick Herbig is better than Garrett, honestly. If you match production and snap percentages, it's just how it is. You can't. Do you know what snap percentages means?
Not completely. No.
I'm just kidding. So basically, Herbig's more efficient than Myles Garrett, but Herbig's also not getting the double teams because TJ Watt's on the other side, right? That would be argument against that. But Dennis, I'm with you on that. I don't think Aaron's going to come over to that side.
No.
Okay, George T with a question. Do you know how far back Pat, your stepdad, goes as a Browns fan? What Brownie era? Was he a Browns fan during Jim Brown? The Jim Brown days? Probably towards the end of them, right?
I know he grew up, I believe, a Cowboys fan.
As a kid?
Okay,
yep.
And then I believe it was once he got
to Ohio and
kind of went into adulthood is when he kind of became a Browns fan. I actually don't know. I'm going to have to ask him how he became a Browns fan for sure. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can tell you exactly how my dad became a Steelers fan.
We don't want to know.
Because dad was born and raised Yinzer. That's how.
Yinzer?
Oh, yeah. Yinzer.
Uh-huh.
Straight Yinzer.
Yinzer.
Yep.
That's something.
He's a Pittsburgh dad.
Yes, he really is.
He's a Pittsburgh dad.
That he is, for sure.
So this has been fun.
Yes.
I know this is a Steelers show, and so you're kind of in enemy territory. But you brought along some reinforcements.
I did.
The little one over there, who we're not going to have say anything anymore because it's embarrassing for me as a father to have lost my daughter at such a young age to the other side.
What do we say, Cal?
Don't do it.
Daddy?
Don't do it.
Go Browns,
Go Browns, stinky
stinky Steelers.
Steelers.
Y'all pray for me and think about me regularly because it's hard.
It's my
the
girl.
Cutest reinforcements ever, Afton says, and isn't that true?
She is. Wait till you should see her in all her little Browns gear, her little Browns get up on game day.
I will admit she's a cutie, no matter what she's putting on.
She's the cutest little Browns fan there ever was.
Yeah. She does not make me want to be a Browns fan, though.
She should.
Oh, is that how it is?
Yep.
Okay. Dennis says probably the Brian Sipe era. You'll have to ask him if he's a Brian Sipe.
I will.
Disciple.
I will. I I'll ask him. We'll get your daughter back.
Oh yeah, Dennis, you're absolutely right. Quadfather's got it. You'll get your daughter back when she can read the standings.
I don't know. I'm convinced at this point that it started purely out of spite.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
has
100%.
grown from there. That's the Cali way, it seems like.
She got a lot of her mama in her.
I don't know about that.
We appreciate all of you guys tuning in as always. Thank you for listening. Vinny says, love the couple. God bless y'all. God bless you too, Vinny. Thank you. We enjoy our bicker and banter back and forth during the NFL season. Although, let's go back to here real quick before we go.
Okay.
We do have a common rooting interest, and that's our Ohio State Buckeyes.
OH.
IO.
That's right.
That's right. So we can get on each other's side every now and then.
Yeah. That's the only way you could ever get me to root for anything Pittsburgh Steeler would be throw my Buckeyes on there.
To say they were a former Buckeye?
Yeah.
Like you're a Cam Hayward fan, right?
I am a Cam Hayward fan, yeah.
You liked Ryan Shazier?
I was a big Ryan Shazier fan. Yep.
Santonio Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steeler legend, Santonio Holmes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He went to the dark side.
He went to the dark side. Hey, the dark side is it? Oh, okay. Okay, we have to answer this before we go. The real question: do you want to keep Ryan Day? I'll say as of a couple days ago, that was a big fat no. For both of us.
It's been a no for a while. I've never really been a huge Ryan Day fan.
Outside of the first couple years, it was exciting the first 2 years, and then
not even. I mean, I've kind of always been. I've kind of always ridden that wagon. Is I'm not a big. Never been a big Ryan Day fan. It's hard to follow up Urban Meyer, but that's just my opinion.
Yep.
But no, to answer your question, absolutely not.
Gavin's with us. IO fire.
Hey!
Fire Ryan Day today, right?
That's right.
Dennis, you nailed it. Aaron did an awesome job. Thank you for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be watching the Steelers-Browns game from this very couch in a couple days. And the Steelers will likely win that game, right? Do we want to make a bet for the people since the question was asked? Will you wear my Steelers hat if the Steelers win the day for the rest of the day?
No.
No?
No, I got to go in public.
Oh yeah.
I will.
That's part of the charm. You have to wear the Steelers hat in public.
I will drink my coffee out of your Steelers Tervis on Monday morning
to go to work
if they win.
Okay. What do I have to do if the Browns win?
Buy a Browns Tervis.
You don't have one, do you?
I don't have one.
Buy a Browns Tervis and drink my hot
there
chocolate
you go.
or whatever. Not a coffee man, but all right. Thank you all for tuning in. That's going to do it for us here on this episode. For Aaron and Callie and the crew, the Betts family, we are out on this one, and we will talk to you next time here on the Steelers Q&A.